560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Yo, do y'all realize it's Friday? Happy Friday to everybody. And yes, it is. Sports 56 Happy Hour with your very good friend Johnny Radio and Gabe Kuhn. We're rocking, we're rolling, we're firing, and we're starting things off hot right off the top. We got Russell Copeland. That's right, the Russell Copeland from the University of Memphis joining us in two shakes of a lamb's tail. Man, I hadn't said that in a while. Sorry, Corey. I know that drives Corey bananas, but hey, I'm a Pulp Fiction fan. What can I say? But we're going to talk with Cope, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff with Cope. And by the way, just a little sidebar. How did I lose my phone since I got here? All you people out there who are like working and not working or working, man, I hate when I lose my telephone. It makes you feel naked.
You just hold tight.
And y'all
I'll
gonna find my
for
phone.
You, I promise.
See, that's what Gabe's for.
Oh, that's it. That's
no,
my only job.
Say,
that's what I do for you.
No. Gabe is for literally keeping my brain in my head, making sure I do everything right, do my spots, get to work on time. There's a lot of things that Gabe's responsible for. I feel sorry for Gabe, but I do appreciate and love him to death. But the reason I brought that up is I have no idea why I was looking for my phone all of a sudden. I just realized I had lost it at that moment. But point is, we have from the top, Russell Copeland. He's about to rock and fire, and we're going to talk about this weekend's not football because it's a Pro Bowl. So we'll talk about the matchups next week. We aren't going to give you a winner or a loser, but I want to talk a little bit about the mismatch of what I think I see, and I want to ask a wide receiver, does he see the same mismatch? Richard Sherman, all-pro cornerback. 49ers, great defense. Historically great defense, to be honest with you. But speed is something that I've always said you can't prepare for. If the dude is just faster than you, you can lift all the weights, you can run everything you want to do. But if dude is just faster than you and he's going to get over the top, and you don't have just one of those guys, but you have 2, 3 of those dudes, and then you have a Superman that runs underneath. And by the way, a 4'5", 40, 265-pound man with hands like that, that is kind of scary. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to also talk about, some very difficult stuff. I'm going to ask my man, Russell Copeland. And again, I hope Russell's been listening to the show because then he knows I've been giving him a lot of love and telling all the accolades from him. And everybody knows Russell because we are in Memphis. And the man played here at Memphis. He played pro football, and he knows the wide receiver position. So we're not only going to talk about how the wide receivers match up against San Francisco. We're going to talk even to him a little bit and a lot with Gabe Kuhn about the line matchups. But I'm also going to ask him about Antonio Brown. And then I'm going to ask him the hardest question that seems right now to be going around, and that is Eli a Hall of Famer? That's why I wanted my phone, because I wrote down exactly what I wanted to say, and I put it in my phone. But basically what I'm trying to say is Eli is a catalyst for 2 of the most transcendent moments in Super Bowl history. But in 16 years, out of 14 of those, he never won a playoff game. I want you to hear what I just said. In 16-year career, he only won a playoff game in 2 seasons. Now, those 2 seasons, he won 1, 2, and Super Bowl, or 1, 2, 3, and Super Bowl, depending if they were wild card. But what I'm saying is, Eli, those 2 years was superb. Now, they were great teams, but the man missed the playoffs 10 out of 16 years. And, never won a game. Never, ever won a game outside of the 2 years they went all the way to the big one. He's a career 117 and 117. He has 244 interceptions. Never once an MVP. Never. Chad Pennington, did you know that he was voted? By the way, he actually got a vote for an MVP one year. Did you know that, like, there are so many players that have received votes? There are 40 players right now that have received votes for MVP that are not in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning has never received, not just like, I mean, he's never received one vote to be the MVP of the league. Never received a vote. And again, Chad Pennington has received votes. So I'm just trying to objectively look at it. If we look at it a human being, he is a Hall of Fame human being. He comes from a Hall of Fame family. You saw him today. He was pretty good until he kind of took a shot at the Giants fans at the end. I didn't like that. But Eli is who Eli is. The whole Sinatra, I did it my way thing, kind of, that was not like he didn't even think about his little speech today, it seemed like, but I guess that is Eli. But what I'm trying to say is we're going to break it down all with Russell Copeland. And the reason we're doing this is there's not very many people on earth who can understand what it's like to run routes, catch balls from wide receivers, and to do everything on every single level. And that's why we bring him in here today. Russell Copeland, how is life treating you, my brother?
What's going on, John, man? I'm doing great, man. It's Good Friday today, man.
It is Good Friday, isn't it, brother? Isn't it? It's a beautiful Friday, and I got to tell you something, man. We don't have the Super Bowl. We got the Pro Bowl going on this weekend. It's definitely not the kind of action we're looking for, but I actually do want to start about, 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, actually, because we're finally getting closer. But when the big game finally does happen, and we're all dancing and going crazy and talking about all the matchups, the one thing I really, really want to talk to you about, because I think that you can, playing with Isaac Bruce. Oh, and by the way, congratulations. I know everybody has to feel good about Isaac Bruce. Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Congratulations. But you as a wide receiver know there's one thing that you can't defend against. I don't care how many weights you lift. I don't care what you do. You can't defend against speed, correct?
Yeah, that is correct, and I think that's the biggest challenge. And when you look at Kansas City wide receivers, and you're going against a great defense, but I think both teams have a legitimate chance to win. And when I look at the San Francisco 49ers, when you look at their front seven, they want to be able to put pressure. They want to be able to stop the timing in Patrick Mahomes so he does not have enough time to hit those speedy receivers. So then when you look at Kansas City, they're going to say, okay, well, we'll get Patrick Mahomes outside of the pocket. We can still throw the football quickly. We can throw some screens to these fast receivers. So it's going to be a chess match. But when you look at it man for man, mano y mano, there's no way that the 49ers can simply just line up and just go against and let the Chiefs dictate the coverage, and they'll pick them apart. So they're going to have to do a lot of disguises, and hopefully their front seven can get pressure on Mahomes without blitzing and having to go man-to-man or do zone blitzes where those wide receivers will eat those zones and those blitzes up.
And that's where you as a wide receiver will know that there's nothing more frustrating when a team can get pressure with four. You know what I'm saying? They drop. Exactly. I mean, when you get a team right now, when you got Nick Bosa, when you got my man, I mean, Nick Bosa is just one guy. You got also Dee Ford. And then, let's not forget about all the other players on the San Francisco 49 defense, like DeForest Buckner, who a few years ago, I think he was one of the first guys that my man John Lynch got. And like I'm saying, this man has turned this defense with what is it? Sheldon Day, DeForest Buckner. You got Nick Bosa. You got Eric Armstead. You got Dee
Alexander.
Ford. Yeah,
Keon Alexander.
Keon Alexander. Yeah, these dudes, realistically, for a fact, if you're a quarterback, when you got people putting pressure in your face and especially coming up your backside, it makes you uncomfortable. But this is my question: when you got a guy like Mr. Hardiman or Mr. Hill, Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill, that 4-2, 4-3 combination, they can take the top off so quickly. It only takes about 2.5 seconds. The next thing you know, they're 40 yards down the field, and you're throwing a touchdown pass. So can those guys get in Patrick Mahomes' face, make sure that he stays off that 1 point? And is the biggest pressure this weekend, is it on the secondary like Richard Sherman? Is it on, the guys in the back? Like, realistically, is it on the guys in the back? Or is it going to be how fast can they get up there and get in Patrick Mahomes' face? Like, who has the biggest job this weekend
I
or
think
next
when you look-
weekend?
I think, John, when you look at it, it's just going to be the styles and how the games go. Because if I'm going to be the San Francisco 49ers, I think the biggest pressure is to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, and I think that's going to be a lot of pressure on the offensive coordinator. It's going to be a lot. To be able to call the plays and to do what they do best, and what they do best is run the football, and they need time of possession, and then they need to roll him out and be able to hit Kittle, and then be able to hit some plays down the field. So they want to be able to get to a fast start, but eat up the clock, just like the Texans were able to get to a fast start, and the Tennessee Titans were able to get to a fast start, but they ate up the clock. When you look at the Texans did not eat up the clock because they had a couple of turnovers, and it left the field wide open for Kansas City to come back. I think that is going to be the biggest thing, is to the time of possession and not turning the ball over and not get a lot of 3-and-outs for the San Francisco 49ers.
And, again, we are, by the way, let's just be real. We are talking, and it seems like we, the media, I'm including me, friends, anybody out there basically who has a microphone or who is writing right now has been almost talking like this Kansas City Chiefs team is unbeatable. They lost 4 games coming into the season. You know what I mean? I mean, they, coming into the postseason. So they have been beaten, and they lost to Tom Brady last year at the very end in Kansas City. So they can, I mean, this bad boy being in Miami, it's not going to be weather. And a lot of people are basically saying that Jimmy G can't, like I can't even believe I'm hearing this. People are basically saying that Jimmy G is not the same type of quarterback as Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to sit there and say to you, of course he's not. But Jimmy G is just one of the all-time greatest winners in the NFL. I mean, the dude has the highest winning percentage, more wins than Tom Brady, more wins than even Patrick Mahomes, more wins than anybody to ever play the position through this many games. That's still something to be impressive. And the thing that I always say is, how important are you? Well, when Jimmy G plays, San Francisco wins. When Jimmy G doesn't play, San Francisco loses almost every damn game. So,
well, Johnny, it is a team effort, right? It's a team effort. And what Jimmy G has been able to do, he has played his role. When he needs to throw the football and he needs to come up with yards, he's been able to do it. But why are you going to throw the football when you can run for nearly 300 yards? So you have to be able to look at the complexity of the game, and you have to look at the game plan. But as good as the Chiefs are, they were not the top offensive team this year as far as you look at total yardage. They're up there in the top 4 or 5. They're not the number. But if you look at offensive defense as far as the Super Bowls, there's only been one team that has been able to win as far as the top offensive team going against the top defensive team, and that was the San Francisco 49ers when they played against the Denver Broncos. If you look at as lately, the defense has always been able to win. You look at the Atlanta Falcons a couple of years ago when they played against the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots had the top defense. They were able to win. You look at a few years before that, you look at Peyton Manning had an outstanding year with the Denver Broncos, went against the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seattle Seahawks won. So let's just put that in perspective. Defense wins championships and offense sells tickets. You know,
that's a great point. And that's coming from a wide receiver, people.
So it will be a chess match. It will be a chess match. But the difference is that Kansas City isn't the number one team going against the number one defense. But you look at how Kansas City is playing now, they can easily have that title of the most explosive and the best offense now since they have everybody healthy. So I'm just looking forward to the chess match, and I'm also going to be looking forward, Johnny, to some players that you don't look at as far as someone having an impact, such as a punt returner, such as a kick returner, such as a nickel or a dime back, such as a backup running back, such as your number 4 wide receiver. Players like this right here I'm going to keep an eye on because these are the type of players that can make a difference, the field goal kicker. So it's going to be one of those games to look at from the beginning to the end.
And I'll say one thing, Tyrann Mathieu for Kansas City, Chris Jones for Kansas City. These are also 2 guys that are going to have to come up big in this game to slow down that San Francisco and Raheem Mostert. And by the way, people also forget, we talk about offensive lines and defensive lines, and we talked about Buckner and everything. But when you got Joe Staley and you got Ben Garland and you got Mike Person and everything, and when you got these guys who just literally are opening up huge holes and the best blocking tight end in George Kittle, like that does also help your team. They're going to miss Tevin Coleman, but Raheem can absolutely, obviously carry the load. And plus, it's just a great story. But now I got to ask you, because we got next Friday, you're going to join me. We're going to break down the game like it's going out of style. But I got to know right now, truthfully, when you look at Eli Manning, I want to know this. Do you consider him a Hall of Famer?
When you look at the numbers and you look at his career as a whole, he's not. And for me, he's the Jim Plunkett of our era. You look at Eli Manning, he's 117 and 117. You look at Jim Plunkett, 72 and 72, he wins 2 championships. And Jim Plunkett is the only quarterback that's eligible that has 2 chips that is not
in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you're right.
So if you look at what he has done for New York, has he been a great player? Has he been a great teammate? Has he been a great face for the city? Yes. The reason why he does get into the Hall of Fame is because he won 2 chips against a team that had an era, a team that seemed to be unbeatable, a franchise that seemed to be unbeatable. He was able to win those 2 chips against the New England Patriots. And his last name
is Manning. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we talk about the Hall of Fame for me, Johnny, it's not the same. Things are not the same. There's not one clear thing that you can say is consistent. When you look at Isaac Bruce now just not making the Hall of Fame, I think that's ludicrous. But you look at the all-time great Charlie Joyner. When he retired, he was my receiver coach. He retired. It took 10 years for him to make it to the Hall of Fame, but he led the league in receptions and yardage. You look at Andre Reed. It took him almost 15 years. You look at Shannon Sharp. He was not a first-time Hall of Fame. You look at Tim Brown. It took him a long time.
Tim Brown.
Yeah, so it took him a long time. So when you look at this, also when you look at Dermontti Dawson, the center for the Steelers. So what is it that makes a player get into the Hall of Fame for it to be consistent? I love the playmaker. I love Michael Irvin. So when you look at Michael Irvin's statistics, overall, it does not compare to a lot of these wide receivers that are not in the Hall of Fame that are getting snubbed, such as Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce was number 2 behind the GOAT, behind Jerry Rice when he retired, and he's been snubbed, 3 times?
Wow.
So there isn't anything consistent. But when you look at Michael Irvin, he put up big numbers in the big game on the big stage. He's got 3 chips. He's got three Super Bowl rings. But other than that, he made some plays. But look at the team that he was on. Look at his surrounding cast. You look at Andre Reed, one of the top wide receivers in his era. And it takes him almost 15 years, 20 years to get into the Hall of Fame. If he wins 2 chips out of 4, does he get in first time? Probably so.
You know what's so interesting? You mentioned 2 chips. I have a texter right here who says, y'all need to be quiet. He has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, case closed. I just want to remind this texter and everybody out there listening, 2 Super Bowls don't guarantee even a quarterback into the Hall of Fame. It makes it close, but it doesn't guarantee it because there are 12 quarterbacks that have won 2 or more Super Bowls. 8 have come up for the Hall. 7 have gotten in. The outsider, of course, you mentioned him, Jim Plunkett, with 2 Super Bowl rings and 1 Super Bowl MVP to his name. Manning never made an all-pro team. He's not even the best quarterback from his own draft class. That'd be Ben Roethlisberger. He's not the best quarterback in his family. That'd be his brother's Peyton. Ben was a 2-time Super Bowl winner himself. But you know what? People don't look at Ben in the same love because Eli Manning, because of all the stuff that surrounded Ben Roethlisberger at Pittsburgh before he got married and stuff. Now, is Eli Manning a Hall of Fame person? Dead gum right he is. But I want to remind you, and you know this, he had a QBR 5 times below 50. He finished in the bottom 25 of QBR 8 times in his career in 16. That's half of his career. Half of his career. He was barely one of the 7 guys who deserved to be starting. Do you see what I'm saying? He never was a top 5 guy. Never once received an MVP vote. Chad Pennington got an MVP vote in the regular season. All I'm saying is, as much as I love him, 117, and I say it simple as this. He has 2 of the most, iconic plays in the history of the Hall, especially in the television era, and everybody remembers it. Everybody remembers those comebacks, especially against the undefeated, Patriots. And he knocked off basically Goliath. And it was, he was David, and he knocked off Goliath. But remember, I feel like Hall of Fame is about transcendent quarterbacks and transcendent people, not transcendent moments. What was his name? Timmy Smith, who rushed for like 200 yards for the Redskins in a Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl?
Yeah, does he belong in the Hall of Fame because he had a great damn moment? No, he had a great moment. He had two unbelievable moments. But in his 16-year career, by the way, think about this. In his 16-year career, 2 times he took him to the Hall of Fame. I mean, 2 times he won Super Bowls. In the other 14 years, he never even won a damn playoff game.
That's my point. See, when you're talking about Eli Manning, you're talking about football royalty. He's royal. But a lot of people are not going to look at his total career, the statistics that you're bringing up, the subpar years that he had. They're going to look at 2 trips to New York. They're going to look at his name as Eli Manning, and he automatically should be in the Hall of Fame. But when you look at it, and you look at some other people, such as Dan Fouts, when you look at, to me, Kurt Warner.
Great
if you look at Warner, yes, Kurt Warner had, 4 or 5 years? So you put Kurt Warner in first-time ballot, but you don't put Isaac Bruce in, who comes in at number 2. So when you look at Kurt Warner being a Hall of Famer, what about the laws that he had after he left the Rams?
By the way, he took the Rams and the Cardinals to a Super Bowl. Yeah, he went to 3 Super Bowls, and maybe he lost 2 of them, but he still went to 3 dead-gum Super Bowls.
Right. So if you look at Super Bowls and you look at royalty, what is most people going to say? They're going to say, of course, Eli Manning does. But how many people are actually looking at 117 and 117? How many people are actually looking at the subpar years that Eli had?
Or the 244 interceptions that leagues nobody's ever thrown that many. I mean, 240. Exactly. And by the way, he has over 3 years he threw over 24 interceptions. Think about that. 3 times he threw 24 interceptions or more. How many people are even allowed to throw that many damn interceptions?
Exactly.
Like that usually doesn't happen. So there's a lot that goes into this. I appreciate you so much. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be very mad at me, but that's just the reality. When you have a QBR 5 times in your career out of 16 years below 50, when you're outside of the top 25 and 7, when you in 16 years you missed the playoffs 10 times. You never win a playoff game in 14 of the 16 years, but yes, 2 times you got on an unbelievable run. And again, he was the catalyst for 2 transcendent moments. But this is the last thing I was going to say. For all the credit, he won just as many games at 117 and 117 as he lost. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. And when all that being said, guys, he makes the Hall of Fame.
And he will.
Is his statistics deserving when you look at it top to bottom and you look at everything, when you put it all into a bowl and mix it up? No. But he is royalty, and he won 2 championships for the New York Football Giants, and he beat a dynasty that was winning that era, and he beat an undefeated Patriots team. That's what they're going to be able to do, and his last name is Manning. Those are going to be the 2 points, to me, that gets him in the Hall of Fame. I think overall his body of work, no, he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I'm so with you. Hey, I can't wait to talk to you next Friday. We're going to break down the biggest game of them all. We're going to decide who's going to win. I'll talk to you next Friday. In between now and then, I'm sure we'll wrap. But you be good. Tell your family what's up, and have a blessed one, my man. That's Russell Copeland for the University of Memphis. Take care, Russ.
I holla.
Listen, folks, I also got to say one other thing. We are breaking down a little bit of everything, but I do know that Larry Walker is saying to himself, we talked about him yesterday. He's like, dude, I won an MVP, 7 Golden Gloves, 3 battling titles, 3 Silver Slugger Awards, 5-time All-Star, 5 times, and it took me this long to get in the Hall of Fame, 313 career average, 2,160 hits, 383 home runs, please, and a 72.7 WAR. Highest player to not be in the Hall of Fame that is actually eligible. FYI. And by the way, the guy who was first ballot, his WAR is actually higher than Derek Jeter's. Ha! Think about that. Don't touch that dial. This is Sports 56. You know my man Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch is your one-stop shop for apparel and boots. Cold weather is here, and Frontier's selection of Carhartt winter gear is just what you need. Shop a wide assortment of jeans, dungarees, vests, bib overalls, and coats, including Carhartt's classic Sherpa and quilt line jackets. You'll find Carhartt quality at that Frontier low price. A new year brings plenty of new arrivals in Frontier's ladies' boutique department. Dresses, tunics, tops, printed and solid leggings, and so much more. Thousands of tops, t-shirts by Simply Southern, as well as on-trend shoes and fashion boots. And finally, there's the world-famous Frontier Boots Showroom. Thousands of name-brand boots for men, women, and children. Ariat, Corral, Rocky, Dan Post, and many more. From rugged work boots to classic dress boots, Frontier has your next favorite pair. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over one-third of Memphis's existence. Someone asked me if we remember the day the Rendezvous started, and I tell them no, because if we thought it was going to last this long, we'd have kept much better records. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich. It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. My grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the alley in downtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must.
I can tell you one thing. I'm about to die because I pulled an Antonio Brown. I ran just like he did out of court today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just follow my Twitter. Welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour with your good friend Johnny Radio. Y'all know who I am, your sports mixologist John Harden. I am so excited because I have my man Gabe Kuhn in the hizzy. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at Johnny_Radio. him at G_Coon71. My man Jalen. I got my man Carl in the hizzy.
Packed house
hanging
today.
out.
Packed house in the
Packed
Family
house.
Leisure Studios.
Packed house in the Family Leisure Studios. And by the way, Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40, Baller Shot Callers. I call it the Toys R Us for adults, real deal Holyfield. But I got to say, before I jump into this, I can barely breathe. Did you see Antonio Brown?
Yeah, sure did.
I only ran to my
Are
car.
you good, man? Like,
No,
when was the last
dude, I'm
time
that
you
out
ran?
of shape. Like 5 seconds ago. It is true. You
Hey,
asked me when
man,
the last time.
look,
Like, are you talking about for
I'm talking
exercise?
about like for exercise.
Okay,
like,
now you
on a
understand
treadmill,
what-
around a
Can I
track,
tell you something?
running sprints. What was the last time?
When y'all were talking about your 40 times and all that stuff, and I text you how bad I felt listening to y'all, I felt so bad because mentally, I'm still 18. Physically, I'm dead. Like, it just don't work. I just say, do this. And man,
Physically,
my
could you
brain-
run a race right now?
Oh, hell no. I would die.
Me and you down the hallway. All right, let's get it done. Let's.
I'm
do
going
this.
to this is true. I'm gonna start getting back in shape because I love the people and I want to be here for y'all for a long time. Speaking of loving the people, I do have to bring this up real quick because we're gonna do a little Hardwood. And at 2:00, I'm gonna talk about fights at the Fits. Because we got fights going down. Hardwood is gonna feel so deadgum good you're gonna freak out. But right now, I gotta ask you a simple question. Kareem Hunt, Gabe Kuhn. We talk about, like yesterday, I told you the difference between crazy and just stupid. Listen, Antonio Brown, God rest the judge's soul, is forcing him. He has 10 days to go into a psych evaluation. So he will, by law, because of the fact that he is now on bail, he had to post $100,000 bail. He has an ankle monitor. He has to go within 10 days to a mental, like to see a shrink. By the way, which seeing a shrink is not a bad thing. If I didn't see a shrink, I promise you I would have been in 2 fights today. Promise you I would have been in 2 fights. I've been seeing a shrink for a long time.
Fraba.
Goose Fraba. I know I got anger issues. Thank you, shrink. Thank you, Dr. Gordon. Love you, Martha. Now, and I might have gotten beat up, but who knows? I still would have been fighting. Because, again, I told you my mind thinks I'm 18 and my body just is dead. But I bring this stuff up because I'm dead serious. When I talk about Antonio Brown, it's like it's a sad situation. But it is more like watching just an arrogant, egotistical a-hole who decides that he wants to do things his way and only his way when he wants to do the things he wants to do his way and everybody else be damned. Now, that's not unfortunately how the world works. Wish it did, but it doesn't. Because if it did, I'd be like, Gabe, Carl. I'd be like, all you guys go in there. Jalen, make sure you do this. And we'd be getting crunk up in this joint on a Friday right now, okay? I wouldn't be FCC regulated, okay? It would be like this. By the way, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, and YouTube. You would think Platinum was open again. I can promise you that. It would be down like it was going down. But I have a job. Like, I know I can't just have strippers sitting here topless hanging out with me. Now, it would be fun. But
What about butt models?
now, Antonio Brown, he spent so much money on butt models, you think? No, not even butt models. I think I'd be in trouble with butt models. Even though, like at 6 o'clock at, Channel 3, you can watch the butt models on, was it Inside Edition? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, or one of those shows. Because all of a sudden, that was when I first saw the butt model thing, like after I talked about it. And I felt so proud. I was like, hey, I beat y'all to it. And they were like showing all the girls doing the dance and stuff. And I was laughing so hard because it was like, dude, this is 6 o'clock on a Tuesday or something. Like, what's going down? But anyway, sidebar, Antonio Brown, he got out of court. He's going to get that psych eval. So guess what that means? We're going to find out, truthfully. Is he crazy? And you know what? I'm going to wish that he is. Unfortunately, I have a horrible feeling that he's going to go through a psych eval and they're going to come through and they're just going to say, no, he's an arrogant, egotistical a-hole. Nothing more. nothing less, just really likes him some Antonio Brown, then that's going to be very disappointing for the NFL and everybody else. Because if he was just lunatic, we can give him some Seroquel or we can give him some something. What do they give lunatics these days? I don't know. Something. But we'll give it to him. And by the way, if you have mental illness, that is like, again, something that you don't even be embarrassed about. I told you I have anger issues. I go to a shrink. I'm proud I get help because I know that everybody out there ain't nobody in this world that can do it alone. I figured that out it took me till I was about 27 because I thought I could do it alone. You can never do it alone. You got to have help. So hopefully Antonio Brown's going to get the help he needs. Unfortunately, I don't think it's mental illness. I think it's more about he's an idiot, an a-hole, an arrogant, egotistical maniac, and he has to humble himself. And if he humbles himself, maybe this man can come back. And I bring this up for two reasons. Kareem Hunt and Mr. Souza from Kansas. I got to say, Kareem Hunt must be a dumbass, period. An idiot, capital I. Like, how is it that you have an 8-game suspension and then you speed with weed? You speed with weed. What is the golden rule? Don't smoke, fool, and drive. Go to your home. Go to a coffee shop. Do it in the backyard. Get in an Uber. Why would you smoke a joint driving down the road? I never understood this. Now, when I see a 16 or a 17, 18-year-old kid who lives maybe with his parents or even older, there's a false sense of security. Like, this is my vehicle. This is the only place in the world that I can go where mom and dad can't go through my stuff, maybe. And maybe you have a false sense of security. So you smoke pot in your car because you're a kid and you're an idiot. Then a cop pulls you over, arrests you, and you find out that, hey, a car is it's nothing to toy around with. It's not your home. It is not a place to smoke pot. It's a place to get you to and fro. And it also weighs a whole lot of money. You can kill people. Again, it is something that is, it's like the NFL or anything else in this world. It is like it's, what word am I looking for?
Dangerous?
No, it is a, dang man, my brain ain't even working today. It is something that you don't necessarily have to have. It is you were given it. It's a
privilege.
It's a privilege. Thank you. Holy cow, man. I want to shoot myself in the head. I couldn't even think of privilege. What is wrong with me today? No, driving a car is a privilege. So if you're driving a car and you're a kid, it is not your home. It is not your house. It is not the only place mommy and daddy can't catch you. Don't be smoking dope in it. I didn't think I had to tell Kareem Hunt that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, where you been? Kareem Hunt got arrested again. And no, he didn't slap some woman this time. He didn't do anything. He got pulled over for speeding and smoking weed. Like, I'm so sorry.
This happens so much, though.
But why can't I just call an
like
idiot?
Antoine Woods? You remember that story?
Yeah, I sure do. But
Cowboys.
He's also, by the way,
this is a common occurrence.
In 2018, beating up a woman, all the hell that came down on him, did that not jar a few things loose that, hey, I am a privileged individual who is watched by the public. I need to carry myself in a different manner. And if I want to cut up in a coffee shop, cut up in your home, cut up in states that are legal. You got money to go do whatever the bleep you want. Don't cut up in Ohio where it's not legal, speeding down the interstate like, what's up? And when a cop pulls you over, you don't yell like unfortunately, I know Kareem Hunt in your life. You just been able to been like, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm Kareem Hunt. I run past you. No, a car will catch you. They'll call another cop car and they'll pull you over, and then your life will be over. You have been giving a second chance. This is now your third chance. In baseball, that's 3 strikes, you're out. You get one more strike, I'm telling you, Kareem Hunt, we're going to end up saying what could have been with you. And it's going to be something really, really, really sad. But it brings me to a young man that I want somebody to actually give him credit. Because he didn't act like Antonio Brown. He didn't act like Kareem Hunt. And he's also a kid still. We crushed him. We all had this picture of him holding a chair over his head. And I'm going to tell you something. If he swung that chair, I don't know where we would be today. I don't want to know. I am grateful for whoever that individual was that grabbed it. Some people say he was an assistant coach. I've heard he was just a fan. I've heard a lot of different things. Majority, though, I hear he's assistant coach. I don't know. But I do know if he swung it, we'd be at a different place. But I also do know something. I do know contrition. And I talked to a judge one time who told me that when they sentence people, if they look at that person and they talk to them and they see nothing in their eyes, if there is no, if they don't feel guilty, if there's no retribution, if they literally just don't have life in them, she maxes them out. If she looks in their eyes and she basically sees contrition and pain and empathy and sympathy and sorrow and somebody who wants to right their wrong, then she won't necessarily go with the maximum. Man, I need to quit saying she.
He or she.
Yeah, he or she. Sorry. Didn't even realize it until I just did that. Anyway, point is, Silvio De Sousa, a guy that was persecuted, and rightfully so for his absolute BS, standing over somebody when you're winning by 20. After they steal the ball from you and then you go and block the shot, you're up by 20. It's the end of the ball game. Standing over them like you a man don't make you a man. And you know what? He realizes that. He really does. And that's what started this little fracas. And I'm going to talk about this with my buddy Carl a little bit. But he came out and did something that shocked me. And it didn't shock me because I would expect this from the public relations department. But then, you know what? I actually saw the guy speak. And this wasn't PR speaking. This was a young man that you could see, man, him holding back the tears. You could see that he embarrassed himself and his family in Kansas. And he felt it. I felt sorry for the young man. And again, the apology, and I just sent this out, and I'm going to say, the apology is a great start. It can't fix what he did. And by the way, you can never fix what you've done with one action. But you know what? If you hold yourself accountable and you become a good person over time and you continue to do the right thing, all that stuff will be looked back. And in due time, you will be perceived as a different individual. He has an opportunity this to be a learning experience. So I just want to say I applaud Silvio De Sousa, a young man who came out there and obviously at least he convinced me either he's the best damn actor and he needs to go work in Hollywood because that dude is good. He can basically cry on the spot. Or I saw straight up real empathy in that young man. And again, you can't take back your actions with just one apology. And you've got to get up every single day and you got to take, step by step. But eventually, over time, people will forgive. That's just the nation that we are. That's just the way we are. That's just how we are. Because guess what? We all sin. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But we will be back in 2 shakes. By the way, one person is close to perfect. Chad Gatlin. Check him out at memphisfarmers.com. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM. You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
We know what you really want is to go to Sunrise on Jefferson and enjoy a nice leisurely breakfast or lunch made fresh and fast. But a lot of the time, you just don't have the time. That's why if you're in a hurry, the way to go is to call ahead to Sunrise and place your order. That way, all you have to do is swing by, go to the carryout entrance, and walk away with all the sweet deliciousness that is Sunrise. Only quick and taken wherever you're in a hurry to be. Everybody's in a rush some of the time, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy Sunrise whenever and wherever.
Hi, folks. Good news from the Sunrise Sheriff. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch is 12 years old, so fire up the old jalopy and get on down here, because there's a saving shindig going on at sunrisememphis.com. Acres of new Chevys, huge discounts, 0% financing, and savings up to $13,000. Bad credit, it's okay. At Sunrise, we've got a financing plan for everybody. Need body work? Bring it to Sunrise. The Sunrise Sheriff has put an end to high prices, and the word's out. Chevy's cost less at Sunrise. 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Find new roads.
When it comes to your bathroom, the shortest distance between outdated and updated is a trip to the Home Depot's Days of Doing bath event. Like vanities up to 40% off, faucets from only $49, plus a wide selection of online bath products. Can't make the trip? We can deliver. It's a good time to be a doer and a saver. Now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limited time only. Event end dates vary by store. See store for details.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here!
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Yo, 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 yo! Welcome into a little bit of Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm telling y'all one thing, I love this show. I love my people, and I love also halftime. I got CJ out there. I got Gabe out there. I got Carl. I got Jalen. We were rapping like it's going out of style. I'm going to bring actually Carl in here, but we were talking a little bit during the break. And it is fascinating, like how we obviously, if you don't know, we are very impassioned sports fans. We don't know. We are not always right. We are sometimes wrong. A lot of times maybe wrong, but we are one thing we will never be faulted for is not having passion for the sports that we cover, because we really do care. But I was having a rap with Gabe, and me and Gabe were talking, and he made a good point. He did make a good point. But it comes to that thing where, again, I feel like it's like you start the tape wherever you want to, and it's kind of like where me and Gabe both could do this in this argument. We both could start the tape where we want and then find fault. Gabe has found fault with the Kansas State player. When you're trying to dribble the ball out, don't steal the daggum ball, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swat it, and then I'm going to stand over top of you. That's kind of – tell them how you said it.
Well, here's the thing. I just think it was very awful and badly timed to go do that in that situation. Everyone knows it's an unwritten rule. You do not go and do that at the end of a game when they're dribbling the clock out. Do I think that Silvio De Sousa absolutely blew it out of control? But I think it started at that moment. I really do. If that never happens,
this is why I want to bring
everything
Carl
after doesn't happen.
This is why I want to bring in my good buddy Carl Morris, because this is where I was trying to say you can start it where you want. Silvio De Sousa, again, I have commended this young man for coming out and apologize, for saying that he's wrong. Again, I saw true sorrow and empathy in his eyes, and I'm not arguing that in any way. But what I am saying is it is interesting how subjectively we can start the tape where we want. I asked Gabe, did you go start the tape a minute and 30 seconds before that? Because I had money on the game. I watched the bad boy. I was all up about it because I had the total. Now, If somebody is, and just let me ask you this question. If somebody says, Carl, while they're dribbling out the ball and they're inside the court, if they look at your face and you're up by 20 and they literally say to you, you're trash, what are you going to do, Carl?
I'm pretty much probably going to do the same thing.
You're going to steal the basketball, right?
We'll try to steal it. And
you're going to try to steal the basketball and score at the end, correct?
Correct. I wouldn't have tried to lay it up. I'd have dunked it on him.
You would have dunked it on him. That's what I'm talking about. Carl would have dunked it all over his face because that's man style. But again, that's where me and Gabe, and being a subjective and a person who loves sports, we are trying to see young men who are passionate about the game, and we're trying to find out for future, for like young folks to learn. Gabe is right in the aspect. If you're dribbling out the basketball, unequivocally, I agree. Don't you ever steal the basketball. Ever. Unless a guy literally looks into your face and says something about your mama or your daddy, or says you're straight up trash. And I've gone back and looked at it, and you can look at it. And man, I don't need to go get a mouth reader to understand. He says, you are effing trash.
But Jay, you also have to realize it's also part of the rivalry. That's Kansas State.
I know, but I'm just going to tell you something. It can be 30 minutes left in the game. Well, there's no 30 minutes. There can be 19 minutes and 59 seconds left in the ball game. Y'all can just start, or there can be 1 second left in the ball game. If you look in my face and you say you're trash, I'm going to have to stop that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
And when you're up by 20, and this is where I think D'Souza realized his mistake, he didn't need to be talking no more. The scoreboard did all the talking for him. Let the scoreboard, and this is a lesson I think to all athletes out there, let the scoreboard do the talking at the end of a ball game, because as much as Gabe is like, whatever, look how ugly. And by the way, Gabe is kind of laughing. I can promise you one thing, Gabe. Bill Self ain't laughing. The athletic department, the administrator, Kansas fans aren't laughing. And it is true. You can say whatever you want. If D'Souza did not say to that kid, you're blank trash, he don't steal the ball. Period. There's no way he even tries.
All of it was disrespectful.
It was, by the way,
sides.
they were both disrespectful, but I still feel like looking at somebody when you're up by 20 and y'all are playing on the court, yeah, you're dribbling out, and you say to that person, you're effing trash, he's lucky. I'm sorry. I might have just cocked, like, if I had, because at that time when I was young, I didn't go to anger management. He would have gotten clocked. It's a good thing I didn't play basketball. And if you don't believe me, I'm sure people remember when I played in that little bitty 11-year-old league, there was that real tall kid. Oh, yeah, he called me trash. Oh, I clocked him. But what I'm trying to say is, and I hope everybody out there is learning, especially young folks, there is a cause and effect in everything. What goes on in between the lines, like, it needs to stay in between the lines. I think that competition is so crucial and important, and I love seeing people fighting for it. I also love seeing people fighting to the very end. But what I don't like, and I like, by the way, I do like smack talk. I'm not going to say I love trash talk. But again, trash talk is like Kyrie talking trash to LeBron last night. Why? What did you go, 2 for 31 or something? Like, you were the biggest joke on the planet. Like, Kyrie, LeBron, a couple times, I thought he was so classy. It was basically like shoe fly shoe. Like, shoe child, shoe child, shoe. But I will say this. LeBron James shooing off Kyrie is how he should have handled it. Kyrie was trying to get all up in his grill and bother him. And you know what? LeBron knows he's on a different level. He is that much better than Kyrie. Kyrie, you were always my Batman. I mean, you were always my Robin. I am always going to be Batman. And again, I know Kansas State and Kansas are rivals and hate each other. But in the final 7 seconds, if you're up by 20, you cannot straight up look into a man's face and call him blinking trash and not expect him to do something.
Because Kobe and Michael Jordan never talked trash, John.
They did. No, that's what I'm saying. There's always,
because LeBron has never talked trash.
No, and I guess, what are you, deaf, stupid? What the heck do I have to say? No, I'm being dead serious. There is a time and a place for everything. In no way in hell do you ever talk trash with 7 seconds left on a clock, up by 20, And you want to say to a person to their face on national television, you're effing trash. Because you know what? Again, he's lucky he didn't get cold clocked. Because I would have clocked him. And there's a lot of people out there right now listening that would have jacked D'Souza straight in his face. And you know what? He would have deserved it. You can talk trash, but there is no reason to say to somebody's face when you're up 20, when you're dribbling out the ball. I thought the game was over, right? If they're dribbling out the ball at the ball game, why does anything need to be said? Huh, Gabe?
Talking trash happens. You have to act like you know it happens. You talk trash
during the heat of the moment, not at the end of the game when you won by 20.
You have no idea what was provoked. You don't know what happened.
No,
I think Silvio D'Souza was dead wrong in the fact that he escalated the fight. I'm just saying you don't steal the ball at the end of the game. That is what escalated this whole thing.
Nope.
That's what started
Calling
the
him
entire
trash
thing.
Is what escalated it.
Okay.
It's simple. Well, who's apologizing? Simple as that. D'Souza, not the Kansas State dude. Don't touch that dial.
And if the dam breaks open many years too soon, and if there is no room upon the hill, and
Tiger Hoops fans have something extra to look forward to this coming March. Not only is it tournament time, but it's the opening of the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum.
After Finch's two-pointer, Ronnie Robinson sank the shot that once again brought the two teams into a tie.
Come to the Pink Palace Museum this March and experience 100-plus years of Tiger men's and women's basketball, from their beginnings as the West Tennessee State Normal School to the present.
The Tigers are very much alive.
Don't miss the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum, opening March 7th.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Fiveash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey everybody, what's the best new thing to kick off 2020? A new All-Star Chevrolet. You cannot believe all the zero finance deals and cash back on the new 2019s and new 2020s. 0 for 72 on most new All-Star Chevy Silverados, 2019 or 2020s. Plus, you get thousands off MSRP in bonus earnings when you finance with GM. Every Silverado truck you're looking for is at All-Star Chevrolet right now. So if you're ready to kick off 2020 in your new Chevy, head to Olive Branch this week. Not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. And everybody at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch has one job: to make sure you get a better deal that's more fun and enjoyable and in record time. And be sure to ask about all the deals on the new Blazers and Traverses. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch today or check out allstarautogroup.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Embrace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Embrace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. On AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home.
Get out right here. Ladies and gentlemen. And now?
Now, the only man to ever win the World Series of Poker with a Scrabble board, Johnny Harden.
Yo, 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 you gotta be kidding me. On Sports 56 Happy Hour, on a Friday, we might not have football action, or at least real football, but we got fights. Where they at? They're at the Fitz, baby. You know why? Because the Fitz is the real deal Holyfield. And on January 25th, that's right, tomorrow, the 17th year anniversary of Fight at the Fitz is going down. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. We got Freddie Ladd, a man who's jumped out of retirement, 48 years old. Oh, my goodness. I got to ask my man BY in just a minute. How in the heck does he go? How is he going to do this? I, at 40, and we'll just leave it at that, don't know how I get out of bed some mornings. We also have Teddy Webster. We got a couple Louisiana boys in the house. We got Donald Ward. We got Wesley Bedwell from Lexington, Tennessee. A country boy can survive. Country boy can survive. I'm telling you. Fight at the Fitz. 17th year anniversary. And I know I talk about the fighting with my buddy BY, but I do want to remind people, go down there and see my friend Chris. Go down to the sports book. When you go down there, you don't have to just bet on the fights. You don't have to just play craps. You don't have to just play the slots or roulette or whatever. You can bet on the games. You can bet on the fights. You can bet on everything and anything in between. But I will tell you one thing. Nobody does it better than the Fitz Casino and Hotel down in Tutica. And my buddy BY is in the house to join me. BY, what's up?
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for having me.
Dude, I am so good. I'm just kind of freaking out because we were talking about this, and I know that this isn't the main one, but I want to ask you, first of all, Dennis Williams is fighting Freddie Ladd. Tell me a little bit about Freddie Ladd, first of all, and explain to me how it is that a West Memphian who's 48 years young can actually get into the ring and actually throw blows.
Well, you know, it's a great question. Freddie's just like you and I. He's a guy of the Mid-South. He was born and raised here. He's a guy that we can all relate to, tangible guy. You can, reach out and touch him. He's at the Prize Fight Gym every day training amateurs. And a couple years ago, I was named godfather of his son, and his wife ended up passing away last year of cancer, and just came on unexpectedly, very quickly, and left Freddie devastated, and with a young son to raise by himself. And Freddie had his whole world rocked, and he had come to me last year after the funeral and said, hey, about 3 weeks later, he said, hey, I'd like to dedicate a fight to my wife, and he said, I want to go out on good terms, and he said, I'd like to make one more run. And Freddie's a guy that's always maintained himself, John, physically, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's runs all the time, lift weights. He's in the most.
So not just mentally, but physically, he's always kept his body and everything, kind of almost like keeping that body like a temple.
He's exactly. He's a 28-year-old. He fights tomorrow night.
When you look at him, would you know that he's like almost half 100?
No, you wouldn't. I mean, I'm so proud of him and the shape that he's in and that he's worked himself to get into. He's always been in really good shape. He's beyond phenomenal shape right now. He is ready to go.
How worried is Dennis though Williams? Because I have to be honest with you. this would be a hard fight for me to take. One, because he's 48. And two is because if I don't beat him down, what is that saying about me? And I know you're talking about like 48 years. This man has been in the ring and fought every single thing. He's seen it all. There's nothing that you're going to surprise him. So you're going to have to literally outbox him. Dennis Williams knows that. Is that something that could play a little mental game with him? Is that something that, you could see Ladd and Williams going back and forth and, like him trying to, stop his best thing? And it's, you know what I mean? The back and forth of the boxing.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. You posed some great questions. To answer those, I don't know if I have the perfect answer to respond to that, but I know that these guys we got 5 fights tomorrow. We got 10 fighters. And in life, we all go through our ups and downs. We all face our own battles, our own demons, our own evils. We go through good times, bad times. I always say you don't have to be a boxer to be a fighter. You're a fighter. I'm a fighter. We fought in our own demons. We fought in things that we've lost our loved ones. We've had all of us. The guys on the other side of this glass. We've lost our loved ones. We've lost family members. We've lost best friends. We've lost things in our life that we wish we could go back and change. So this main event tomorrow night, we got a lot of young guys on the show tomorrow night, up and coming guys. We've had, 6 world champions, past and present world champions that are even world champions today that grew up at the Fitzgerald Series. And Freddie's fight is more than boxing. It's about life, and it's about battling back. And boxing teaches you so much about, being able to have character and learning to fight your way through things, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring, more importantly. And this main event is something that I'm very emotional about, something that I'm emotionally invested in with Freddie, and I want to see him do well tomorrow night. He might not win the fight, but I think
I promise you one thing: I'll be there rooting for him.
Well, I tell you, he's bringing pretty much all of West Memphis is showing up for the fight. I mean, this is the best selling fight we've ever had in 17 years.
Well, I mean, when you look at the card, it's kind of understand. We've just talked about Freddie and Dennis. I mean, you got Teddy Webster. By the way, he brings half of Oxford to Batesville, Mississippi, and all of that little town, Cortland. Whenever he goes to fight, he's fighting Harris Tucker out of another Louisiana guy. He's out of Baton Rouge. But then again, I like Wesley Bedwell, the country boy. I like a country boy can survive. Like he's just like a good old boy out of Lexington, Tennessee, who just, I don't know, man. He just, like, when I think of a good old boy fighter, he's a good old boy fighter, isn't he?
There's no doubt about it. He'll go out and drink beer with you after the fight at the bar, and he's kind of like the Babe Ruth of boxing. Just a common guy and just loves people. But when that bell rings, he turns into another guy, and he's in tough tomorrow night. By far, his toughest fight of his career, in Rayford Johnson. Rayford Johnson didn't bring him all the way in here from Austin, Texas to take a dive or to lose. He came to win, and
I hear he's a brawler, is what
and
people
he is.
say.
So that could be fight of the night. But on our show that we've had, and
But what about Donald Ward and Rance Ward? I mean, you got like these guys. You would think they're related. They're not. Don't worry. Don't freak out, people. We're not putting brothers against each other, even though their last name's Ward. But that is one that a lot of people were telling me that I can't miss.
Yeah, that should be and could very well be fight of the night. Rance Ward has certainly talked a lot about what he's going to do to Donald. Donald's out of
they
out of
talk
West
a lot. I
Memphis.
like that.
And you know what? Donald's a very quiet guy, very humble Christian guy. He's like, man, I'm just let the bell ring. I'm ready to take care of business. So Rance Ward is undefeated. So it's going to be a heck of a great fight tomorrow night. I think every single fight on this card, and I build it and I have every card for 17 years. With me, because once the bell rings, I'm done promoting. I don't have any tickets to sell. I don't have any interviews. I don't have any of that.
It's all just being a fan.
I just want to sit ringside and see great fights. I'm giving up my Saturday night to do this. Everybody that's coming from all over the Mid-South is they could have done anything they wanted to do, John. On fight night. They don't have to come to my boxing show, and they choose to come, and I'm going to give them a hellified show and send them home talking about it at the water cooler all the next week. That's what my goal is, and saying, hey, when is the next fight? We want to come. So I want to make sure that every fight is just awesome.
And by the way, I got to give you a big shout out, and got to give my buddy Chris down at the Fitz a big shout out too, because I forgot that it was Fights at the Fitz, and I was thinking that it was the week before, Super Bowl. Dumb me thinking, oh, probably a lot not going on. Call like yesterday, I need 2 rooms. We're sold out. No! You're not sold out. It's John. And they called me back and found 2 emergency rooms. But thank goodness. So yeah, I almost forgot. But like everybody and their grandmother's going to be down there. So if you love the fights, or if you just like being around a lot of people watching different types of people from Louisiana to Oxford to Memphis to St. Louis, Missouri, and everything in between, Fight Nights at the Fitz is one of those nights. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're my favorite nights down in the casino. And it's not just, watching, it's that how do you say it? It's like the adrenaline almost permeates the entire room.
If you don't get goosebumps at my show, then I haven't done my job as a promoter. Because once that bell rings, I want you to have 2 hours, 2.5 hours of just awesomeness, just to enjoy. You can't wait for the next fight, and I want every fight to be better and better and better, building up to the main event. I want to entertain you each and every fight, and I thank everybody. I try to thank everybody that comes into the fight. We pack them in 1,000 deep down there and have for 17 years. And I try to thank everybody. I've made a lot of great friendships over the years, with fans that have come that I still get in touch with every day, that I hear from, and that they hear from me. And, it's just, I take it very, very personal, John, when people come to my show. I want to give them a great, great night of entertainment. And I really appreciate everybody coming out and supporting.
Well, they always do, and we love the Fitz and we love you, BY, but there's one thing that I do not know anything about, and that's the lightweights. Zach King, Matt Murphy. I don't know anything about them. I haven't seen them fight. Can you give me a little something? Because, I know the Wards, I know Wesley, I know my country boy can survive. I know the 48-year-old Freddie Ladd, but tell me about these lightweights. Are they kicking everything off?
Well, there's a reason why, John, that I made this the first fight of the night, because Zach King he doesn't know anything but fifth gear. I mean, once the bell rings, he's 110 miles an hour. Matt Murphy is a quality veteran guy, savvy guy, has a ton of experience.
So we got the Tasmanian Devil basically versus kind of that vet.
The consummate professional that can punch, that stands there, doesn't run, he's gonna dig his toes in the ring mat, and he's gonna meet you in the middle of the ring, and it's gonna be who's ever standing at the end of 4 rounds. So Zach's got his work cut out for him. Zach's people were a little cautious about taking the fight originally, and then I was able to tell him, hey, look, I think that Zach is ready.
He's
for this
ready
fight.
for the guy who's ready to
step up like
be
this.
the pro.
But by far, again, the biggest challenge of Zach's career is tomorrow night, 24 hours away from Matt Murphy. So that's the reason why I opened up with that card, or the card with this particular fight, because this is going to be fireworks from the opening bell to the last bell.
Fights at the Fitz tomorrow, January 25th, 2020, year 17, if you can believe it. I can't believe it. How time flies. I mean, to think when I first met you and to where we are today, 17 years later, man, it's just a wild, wild world. Now, I got to know something. I got to ask you about this fighter. And by the way, I know that, you know me, I'm always talking about, some of the goofy sides of things. But there's this young guy that I don't know. He's not fighting in y'all's card, and I'm just wondering if you know anything about him. It's the guy that Floyd Mayweather is promoting. Do you know who I'm talking about at all? The one who keeps getting in all this trouble with not, paying his bills for getting, $250,000. He's a diamond dealer or whatever. But they say he's really, really good, and he beat up some dude named Graham. Do you even know who I'm talking about?
I just try to concentrate on my own fighters
on your guys
and stay in my own lane. I really don't even keep up with that camp, just to be honest with you.
I don't blame you, because they seem like they're all talk and no show. And that's the one thing that I like about at the fights, at the Fitz. We always see, UFC, just to use them, like Conor McGregor. We always see the pomp and circumstances. But mostly everybody wants to see a fight, right? That's what I always thought the fights were supposed to be about. That's why whenever I got involved with you, that's why I fell in love with Fitzgerald's. And when I went down there and I saw for the very first time, I was like, damn, this is what I've been looking for. These are real boxing matches. And it's not from, it's like a couple nobodies, and then when you got the main event, it's from the first round, from the first guy, from when Zach King and Matt Murphy roll until Freddie Ladd and Dennis Williams go. It is going to be dudes bruising and brawling and fighting, and we got heavyweights, cruiserweights, welterweights. You got it all, and it's always It's just so exciting. And again, like I said, the room, the energy, if you could bottle that up, we'd be so rich if we could sell that.
Oh, man, I wish we could. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. And we appreciate all the support you've given us over all these years, countless years. And you've been a great friend to not only me, but to this fight series, Fights at the Fitz.
Well, BY, you be good, and I'm going to see you on Saturday. And by the way, Chris, I hope you're listening. I'll see you tonight with all my peeps. We got a little bachelor party going down at Fitzgerald's tonight as well. If you ever need a little bachelor party, Fitzgerald's is also a great place to go. But tomorrow night, Fights at the Fitz, January 25th. You got Freddie Ladd against Dennis Williams. You got Teddy Webster against Harris Tucker. Wesley, a country boy can survive. Bedwell against Rayford Johnson, who's just a flat-out brawler. You got the Wards going. Rance against Donald. You got Zach King against Matt Murphy. Again, the Tasmanian Devil against the Consummate Pro. It's going to be a lot of fun, whatever you do. Don't miss it. Fitzgerald's, hop, skip, and a jump from anywhere, and everybody who's listening to me, you can be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I know I get there in about 45 minutes when I leave here. And I'm usually not speeding. Be good, BY, and all you people out there. Whatever you do, don't you dare touch that dial. And always remember, my man at MemphisFarmers.com and Chad Gatlin on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hi, Saver. Walgreens here. We like the way you save. Take coffee. You know it doesn't have to cost $4 a cup, so you make your own. And co-pays on Medicare Part D. You save up to $5 and get 100 Balance Rewards points on each prescription when Walgreens is your preferred pharmacy. Save smartly on Med D. Walgreens. Trusted since 1901. Copay savings on Tier 1 generic drugs available through select plans that include Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Points cannot be earned in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Complete details at walgreens.com/balance.
Now, this is the way to ring in the new year.
Sweetgrass is amazing food and all kinds of games to watch.
Since Sweetgrass changed the layout, now we can enjoy all the meaningful NFL games and enjoy our favorite menu in Midtown.
You're not the only one that used to sneak over to Nextdoor to check the scores.
It's true. I think you did it more than I did.
Well, I have a lot of favorite teams.
And I have a lot of favorite Sweetgrass foods.
Now we have the best of both worlds. Great Sweetgrass food and plenty of TVs to watch sports.
Everything we always loved now in one place. Sweetgrass, right here in the heart of Cooper Young.
Kansas City and San Francisco are headed to the big game, and Sports 56 will be there. Join Eli Savoy live from Radio Row in Miami for Sports 56 middays and throughout the day, Tuesday through Friday. Get all the latest news and hear guests from around the league previewing the matchup. Coverage of the big game on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 is presented by The Big Green Egg, Gateway Tire, Olive Branch Motorsports, and Southland Casino Racing. And also brought to you by Memphis Tourism and Sports Council.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over 1/3 of Memphis's existence. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich.
John, we first got a taste of it at the golf tournament.
It's the same sausage we serve on our our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on a bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. As I've mentioned before, my grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and that's the same slaw he used. So here we are now 103 years later, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the Alley in downtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you bound to wind up dead. You don't head back to Tennessee yet. The rich man step on my poor head. When you get back,
You better butter my bread. Make sure you use that good butter, by the way. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour. By the way, I can give up sugar. I can't give up butter. Can't do it. Just can't. My doctor told me to give up sugar. Not really like give it up, but like stop eating a half a gallon of ice cream for dessert every single night. And I was like, well, what about my Friday morning my Saturday and Sunday morning banana pudding? And he was like, huh? And I was like, well, that's what I have breakfast on the weekends. And he was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, what about all my bourbon? And I'm like, oh, my goodness. And he's like, all right, get out of my office. But I bring up all that for a very important reason. You're sitting there going, Johnny's just lost his mind. No, it's Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm about to take you to Hardwood. I'm going to talk about CBD. And I'm also going to, during Hardwood, give you the best bourbons on the earth for every single point price. Like if you like to spend $100 or more, if you like to spend $75, $50, or $25, I just found somebody who actually did. This is like I got to give them some credit.
Whose list is this?
This is 20 years of research. 20 years. Well, it does take bourbon a long time, and it does take a lot of people, and they wanted to go over a couple decades. Which they definitely did with 25, so they got through 2.5. And they wanted to see, one, how, it all blah, blah, blah. But then the other thing is it shocked me. They did bring up also something that I did not know is in this loving of bourbons, they also do mention, do you know that bourbon is one of the most counterfeited liquors or products out there?
I did not know that.
I did not either. According to this, you would be shocked how many shady liquor stores buy black market liquor and put them in bottles. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, that was just this is great work by Gear Patrol, by the way. I'll tweet out all the information and we'll talk more about it. But I want to remind you some very important stuff. Antonio Brown has lost his mind. We'll talk about that. Eli, y'all know he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. But I don't give a damn what you say. In your heart, you know he's not a Hall of Famer, and you can call me an idiot. You can call me an a-hole. You can say I don't know my head from my keister. I don't care what you say. I can tell you one simple thing. A transcendent player who I look at and I say, damn, he is a baller. That's a Hall of Famer. Transcendent moments, you're like, wow. That was awesome. And just because you have two transcendent moments doesn't mean you belong in the Hall of Fame. And by the way, what is it? Is it Timmy Smith or Sims? Who was the little Washington?
The Patriot.
No, it was the Washington. It was the Washington Redskins.
Let me check it out for you.
At that time, he broke every single record in the Super Bowl. Okay, and I think it was maybe it was Steven Sims Jr., maybe. I don't know.
Timmy Smith.
Timmy Smith. It was Timmy Smith. I'm not crazy. Timmy Smith. What did he do in the Super Bowl?
A lot.
Pull. Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look up. I have to look up this.
Basically,
the
I can tell you, he rushed for basically 200 yards. He scored the most touchdowns ever in a Super Bowl. And he was not the start. Like, he wasn't supposed to be the starter. He had to come in, to help. And then guess what happened? He next year lost his job and was out of the NFL. So he had a great moment. Timmy Smith ran like a Hall of Famer in a Super Bowl. But guess what? He sure as hell ain't a Hall of Famer.
Here we got it. I got it right here.
204 yards is what I remember.
22, 204, 2 TDs.
2 touchdowns, 204 yards.
1 catch, 9 yards receiving.
And it was against the Denver Broncos, right?
Sure was.
Yep. I remember. And everybody talked about him as he was going to be the next great thing. Look it up. I think he went to jail. Like, he actually had more likely to be in a penitentiary than be in the Hall of Fame, because that's the facts. That's what, if you look at it, maybe.
We do have to admit the longevity of good old Timmy Smith isn't quite that of Eli Manning.
Oh,
like,
no,
it's
not.
He didn't
It
ever
is
play
definitely
during
not.
the regular season and all that.
And by the way, Mr. Timmy Smith, little 36 for the Washington Redskins, and people are beating me up. And again, I know I'm in Ole Miss country. I'm not an idiot. I know where I'm at. And I know, and again, I've already said to y'all, Eli Manning will get into the Hall of Fame. But it is the nicest way that I can say. 1, he is a catalyst of 2 of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history. Do y'all hear what I'm trying to say? He was a catalyst of 2 of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history that were brought about by the fact that he was playing Tom Brady and the Patriots and that his defense held him to so close. Did he make, he could have had that. What if Harrison has the interception? Are we even talking about this?
What if David Tyree doesn't pin the ball against his head?
What if David Tyree doesn't pin the ball against his head? Again, are we even talking about, if these magical things do not happen, are we talking about Eli as a Hall of Famer? Can I tell you something? Hell no. Hell no. You know why? 117 and 117. And I've already said this. He has had heroics on the biggest stage. They were anomalies. And by the way, if you look at his career, it is one of the most pedestrian careers ever. Period. The most interceptions in history? Never, ever in the top 5. By the way, though, he's made more money playing than anybody ever. Did you know that? But again,
you told me that this morning.
Yeah, I told you. He is number 1 at making money when it comes to actually just from the National Football League. Dude made bank up in New York. But I will tell you again, transcendent talent. Was he Aaron Rodgers? Did you talk about him like Pat Mahomes? I listened to a New Yorker named Carl Banks today say one thing, and then Bart Scott came in and said, but this isn't a guy you would have ever, the night before the game, been worried about, would you? Oh, no. I'd have worried about everybody else before I'd worried about him. Okay. All right. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. These guys, Lamar Jackson, you game plan to stop these guys. Did you game plan to get an interception? Well, everybody did, because everybody got one from him. Dude threw more interceptions than he did almost anything. Let's just be real. Again, he's a Hall of Fame human being. He had two. By the way, again, he was not the reasons those moments happened. He was just a catalyst of 2
I have a question, John.
Unbelievable moments.
Is Phillip Rivers even close to a Hall of Famer?
No. But his numbers are
statistically.
I was going to say his numbers. I'm
they
sure you're going
are
to tell.
Head and shoulders above what Eli Manning did. I understand the Super Bowls. I understand, but that's the point here, is that Super Bowls.
Phillip Rivers.
Would you make the case that Super Bowls matter maybe too much when you're talking about Hall of Fame?
I think Big Shot Rob said it best. He has 7 titles. He said, I can't hold Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant's job. Don't ever try to compare titles to talent. He said, teams win championships. Players are transcendent and can carry teams, but it still takes a team. Think about the shots Robert Horry made. Think about, honestly, LeBron James' greatness. Yes, he's great, but it's also he helped make other people around him great as well. But he did have that Ray Allen shot from the corner. Whew, where would he be without that? We'd be remembering how many titles he have in Miami. Oh, that lost to Dallas and that lost to. See what I'm saying?
What about without Kyrie's shot against the Warriors?
I was getting ready to say
in Game 7.
What about the non-cup check from Draymond Green? If he could keep his hands to himself. I mean, literally, what I'm saying is we can constantly talk about moments in time. And Eli is a catalyst for two of the greatest moments. But I'm going to tell you this. Here's the way you can answer your question if he's a Hall of Famer or not. Did he contribute to more wins or more losses? Well, was he the one? Like, because it's 117 and 117. Like, he has the most interceptions. He had 2 seasons. I want you to think about this. He had 2 seasons that were the lowest QBR ever. And then he had 5 under 50. Like, to get your job back after this QBR, you know what? Colin Kaepernick's somewhere looking at his numbers going, damn, how the hell did he work? How did he play 16 years? Should have stood up. Like, come on, man. I could have made bank like Eli. And yes, I'm being a smart aleck and kind of just trying to, like, drive in the point. Catalyst for great moments? Absolutely. Transcendent football player? Hail to the Nizzo. By the way, CBD, it is transcendent in how you feel. Go out to your CBD store. If you're hurting, I'm going to tell you right now, your CBD store will make you feel better. Why? Because they actually care. They're not your insurance company. They're not doctors today. They are a winner of the Excellence Award at the CBD Expo. They have 450 stores and 2 right here, 3157 Poplar, 680 North Germantown Parkway. Say it again with me, people. If you're in Cordova, 680 North Germantown Parkway. Memphis, 3157 Poplar. Do it. Go in there and see them, and you know what's going to happen? You're going to walk in, you're going to tell them I have anxiety, or I have pain, or I have this disorder, or this or that. And guess what? Bing, bang, boom. You're going to text me back one day and say, you, sir, are the bomb. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, I know. Your CBD, I'm telling you right now, real deal Holyfield stuff. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. Please tell them that John sent you. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
I got to save the people before we start on the funny stuff.
Go ahead.
Because there is a serious thing happening. Have you heard of coronavirus?
No.
Not
Please
the beer.
Tell me you're joking.
Not the beer. I'm not joking.
Like the one that's like in Asia?
Coronavirus. It has made it to the U.S.
Nuh-uh.
It made it. There's 2 confirmed cases right now.
Dude, are you being serious?
I'm dead serious, man. The coronavirus is in the U.S. There are 830 confirmed cases of infection overseas in China. 26 people have died, okay? And there's a lot of people under observation. This thing is spreading like wildfire right now. John just put a mask on. This is serious stuff here.
All right, now this
The
is kinda
symptoms of it are fever, cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, runny nose, headache, and it causes respiratory infections. All right? So people, wash your hands. Be careful. If somebody's coughing in front of you, stay away. Don't shake their hand. Be serious. The coronavirus has arrived.
Now, can I tell you why I almost got in a fight today?
Somebody cough on you?
No, dude. All right, so I even wrote it down. I said very kindly, is this a reason to be rude, or was I kind here? Like, I am sitting here, and there's a person sitting across from me. And this dude, by the way, he was actually, he worked with me at the University of Memphis. He's a loser. I'm sure you can, he has a beard. He's a big, fat loser, and he's retiring this year. Anyway, I would love to tell you his name, but I don't want to get in trouble. But I can't stand him. I would have liked to popped him in his face today. But this dude used to be a former colleague. So I thought, like, he would have at least a brain since he was a college professor. He is just coughing. Does not put his hand over his mouth. Does not do anything. And I mean, I'm talking about just like, you know what I'm saying? So I look over at him and I said, sir. And I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I wasn't being a jerk. I said, sir, I'm so sorry, but could you please cover your mouth? I talk for a living, and getting sick right now would be bad. I would appreciate if you did that. And if you can't, I said, I will gladly move to the other side of the restaurant. Do you know what he looked up and said to me? Don't I work with you? I said, yes, you have worked with me. And then he says, do you not think that was rude? And then I looked right at him and said, do you not think that you're a rude a-hole for not covering your mouth? I said, what are you, a 65-year-old man? You don't know? Like, they teach you when you're 3 to cover. And then
Cough into your elbow, like into the crease of your elbow,
and then I started realizing, I'm going into anger mode. So I just turned around and walked away, grabbed my stuff, then moved to the other side of the restaurant.
No, but seriously, I that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Man.
Like,
that
don't
and
cough
smacking
on
your
people.
food. Oh, but no, you can't cough and sneeze without covering your mouth, people, because the coronavirus is here.
And now that we got the coronavirus, and by the way, this
coronavirus.
This is not
coronavirus.
No. Corona. I'm saying like coronavirus. Like, it's not something you put a lime in. Okay, this isn't something you drink. This is something you run from, people. This isn't like, yo, sipping on some scissor. This is real deal Holyfield danger. By the way, where'd they find the cases?
Oh gosh!
I just want to make sure I don't want to vacation there. This is important, but I'll tell the next story. You look.
I know that there's 2
we are
here.
not vacationing there. I can tell you that. By the way, please tell me y'all saw my tweet. Please tell me y'all saw this. So if you go to Johnny_radio, you'll see some funny stuff I do on Twitter, or some stupid stuff. I do a lot of in between. But there's this guy who's like, I just don't get it. Like, Gwyneth Paltrow as a health authority on her snake oil scam literally called Goop. I, for one, was profoundly moved by her performance as Margot Tenenbaum and have been chain smoking and dating my own brother ever since. Hashtag, on my Paltrow flow. I don't know what that means, but so I just tweeted back to him, so you didn't get your candle. So, was that a good
my
response?
God, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I told you my candle is on back order. They are
Your
taking
candle's on back
forever
order?
with it, man. Like I've been waiting for. It's been 3 or 4 months. Okay, give me my Gwyneth Paltrow candle. All right, but by the way, on a serious note, coronavirus has actually been found in Chicago.
What?
That is where that's pretty close, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's way too close for like comfort.
I don't know. I think they're gonna put him in the bubble. It's gonna be a bubble person.
Dude, we need to go down to, I think, Florida.
But then I don't know, man.
What? Like, it's like iguanas might fall on your head. If that's the worst thing that's going to happen to me.
Did you hear about that, though?
Dude, that was hilarious. Please tell me you saw the old lady who was like, I was walking down the street and an iguana fell on my head.
So, iguanas, when it gets cold, since they're cold-blooded, they just freeze up and stay there. They're still living. But they're in, like, survival mode.
They're in survival mode. People
but,
think they're
like, when
dead.
they're on trees, they hang on these tall trees. They literally fall down when they go into the survival mode. So...
By the way,
wild, man.
By the way, just so you know, iguanas aren't very nice. So a dude did say if they wake up, you don't want to be holding one that comes out of its
they're pretty big, man.
Dormant thingy.
They're pretty big.
But by the way, dude, do you even know what I'm talking about? The old lady who got hit in the head?
I didn't get to see that one.
Oh
no.
my gosh, I can't believe it has not gone viral because it's like the Florida, like it's the lady and she's so very serious. She's like, tonight it's going below 40 degrees. Iguanas. You know, they hibernate, blah, blah, blah. And it's like this lady. And then they show literally it's like Miss Doubtfire, but it's a real woman. And she's like, yeah, I was walking today to get my mail and an iguana fell on my head. And I'm telling you, it's like, I'm like, how did it not break her neck? Like, she looks like she's ready to fall over and die right now. Like, don't let her hold the mic, yo, because she's shaking so bad. Give her a Xanax. My goodness. Poor lady. But, yeah, iguanas were falling out of trees. But I have to ask you, because we talk about stupidity here, and we talked about Antonio Brown. Yo, did you see him handcuffed?
I didn't.
So he's handcuffed. He's got like a bulletproof vest on, standing in front of the judge.
Well, did you know that when they get the high-profile guys, they have to put them on suicide watch?
Oh, yeah, they did. But here's all I wanted to say is, take a picture of that. Go ahead, Drew Rosenhaus, or whoever his next agent is going to be, because Drew dropped him. That is just a great picture for the NFL and the Shield, isn't it? I'm sure that's the one that they're like, our best wide receiver ever since Jerry Rice. Handcuffed in prison. And did you listen to the 911 tape?
No.
You didn't listen to it?
No, how bad is it? How
bad is it? It is so bad. Like, he's just like, he's out of it. And you know how yesterday I said stupidity? And maybe it is no excuse for crazy, because mental illness is something very serious. And people, if you suffer, I'm mentally ill probably. Thank goodness I go to a shrink, okay? And they let me talk on the mic. I got two things that are going for me. What can I say? No. But no, for real though, Antonio Brown, I am getting to a point where after watching yesterday, I don't know. After listening to the 911 tape this morning, I'm starting to wonder what person, and by the way, who are the people with him? Like, I'm sorry, if I'm with Antonio Brown and he says, go in and pull my stuff out of this truck, even though the dude's like, I'm calling the police, you need to pay me, I'm going to be like looking at Antonio like, nah, bro, I'm good. The police are coming.
What's up? Why doesn't he pay people? Like, what? It's a moving truck. It's a moving service, sir. You can afford it.
There are over, 200 people now who haven't gotten paid that have done services?
I don't even know. Probably more than that, man.
Probably more than that, man. It's so sad. But those are the ones that have filed complaints. Antonio Brown, you are an Antonio idiot. Let's just be real. Now, I did have one texter who said, since it was Thirsty Thursday, is it Sausage-Free Friday? Gabe, that's for you.
I don't know. All you Gen Xers out there. You Gen Xers, man, you don't know anything about Thirsty Thursday. You can keep doing ladies' night, whatever you think it is. I think a ladies' night can be any night, personally.
Ooh.
Just being real.
Good answer, Gabe.
So you Gen Xers, you can stay over there. You know what I mean?
I think he just basically called Gen Xers all one-night wonders. Oh, wowzers. No, by the way, everybody out there, I do want to honestly say this because I do have a couple of people texting, and a lot of y'all are getting very serious. Eli Manning threw for 57,000 yards. Jim Plunkett, 27,000. A lot of people are going absolutely a little bit too loco. And all I want to say to y'all is, I love all of y'all. I love Eli Manning. And I think Eli was a good dang football player. But he's not Archie or Peyton. He has two of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history, and guess what? He's got more money in the bank than anybody will ever be able to spend. Can we just not say he's one lucky SOB? Let homie go off into the sunset and enjoy being a rich pimp? Because that's what he's going to be doing. And don't sit here and just like texting me all day his numbers, because every one of your texts forgets 244. That's interceptions. And they also forget the 117 and 117.
I'm going to be honest. If there is an Eli Manning argument for Hall of Fame about numbers, about pure numbers, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Because the only argument I see, in which I do think he will get in on, are, like John said, the transcendent Super Bowl moments. That's it.
Yep. And I'm with you. And by the way, never once an MVP vote ever. And the last thing I'm going to say, 16 years, 14 years you were a Giants fan. If you're a Giants fan, there are 14 years. Out of those 16, you never won one playoff game.
And for those people out there wondering when John's going to give the Eli Manning Hall of Fame topic a rest, he won't. He won't.
Look, they keep hitting me on the text line with it, do they not? It's like they want more of it. It's like, give me some more of it, baby. And I'm like, okay. I got to do my job. Hey. Now, speaking of doing our job, we know that Fight to the Fifth is going to be the real deal Holyfield. We know I'm going to be down there this weekend because I got a bachelor. Honey just thinks I'm going to Tunica because that's what I do. But let's just say, don't anybody who knows Honey tell her that I've got a bachelor party tonight. Okay?
She doesn't listen?
She doesn't.
Okay.
Only time I ever get in trouble is when I say something and like one of her friends who listens has a dad or somebody will tell her, you know. And she'll be like, so you did this? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
then the text goes to me next. He's like, delete the podcast. Delete the
podcast. Speaking of delete, would Kareem Hunt, and I kind of mentioned this, would he like to go back in time and try to delete a little things that he's done? Like, in all honesty, Kareem Hunt made a mistake when he hit that girl and did all that stuff. Now I'm going to tell you something. What he's getting charged with and what he's done is nothing. Nothing. In fact, I laugh at what he's done. Like, I'm like, you're an idiot. Don't bring weed in your car, dude. But you know what this does? It takes us all the way back to 2018 and we say, so you can't even wait a year without getting arrested after you beat up some girl? And you know what it's going to do for all those detractors? Kareem Hunt is about to go through a world of bleep, all for something simple. Just go to a coffee shop or a state that it's legal, yo. Or how about not drive and smoke weed? Some of these things are just way too simple. But I'll have to be right back, and never forget your CBD store, because it's the real deal, Holyfield, and never forget this. Are you ready? Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 FM!
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Five-Ash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Pull up a seat and grab a drink. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Let's go! This hour is brought to you by your CBD store, your one-stop for all your natural, organic, and non-GMO CBD products, where good health hits home. Here's Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
Many a hand. Man, I can't sing, dude, because then Kurt Cobain's going to come back, and then I'm going to be in deep trouble, and then everybody's going to cry. But I love you, Kurt, but I got a lot to talk about before I say goodbye. First, I got to tell y'all, it is Sports 56 Happy Hour with your buddy Johnny Radio, Gabe Coon in the house, and it's at G_Coon71. Now, before I address Gabe Coon, I'm going to let all y'all out there know something. I did not call him a moron. I said boron. It's an element. It's on the periodic table. It's an atomic number. I think it's 5. Okay? Y'all just missed. Y'all heard that wrong. And plus, he's big, and I'm like Freddie Ladd. But unlike Freddie Ladd, who's 48 and gonna fight, I'm a put it that way. I'm close to his age, and I ain't fighting. So just relax. But if you want to look cool like me, because I still look good now, You can go down to Frontier Western Store. Oh, go down to Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, and I promise you one thing, you will come back looking, styling, and profiling. And I'm also going to tell you something. To my men out there, to my women out there, to my young folks out there, Frontier Western Store is not just a boot showroom anymore. It's the largest boot showroom on planet Earth. I've told, my brother Clint, his wife, she goes down there now and gets all her boots from there. She loves their boots, but she also does all the shopping because they have a ladies' boutique. They have a kids' department. They have, jeans for men. They have everything. And plus, the cool thing is, you can go to frontierwesternstore.com, and that's what she loves. You go to sale items. You just click on there every couple days like she does, and when you see the items that you're looking for, because they always go on sale at Frontier Western Store, she just heads on down there and buys them. Where does she go? 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. It's easy. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, and again, they're open 9 a.m. to 7 Monday through Saturday, 1 to 6 on Sunday, or you can shop 24/7, 365 at frontierwesternstore.com. Do it. You'll be glad you did. Now, speaking of things you're going to be glad you did, if you listen to me, you'll be glad. Now, I'm about to give you a free play. You know why? Because I'm a nice guy. And because I'm going down to Tunica, not just for Fights of the Fits, that's tomorrow. I'm going down to party like a rock star, play ball like an all-star, and just think of Mia Khalifa. That'll help. She's a nice girl, by the way. And y'all know what I'll be doing this weekend. Partying! Yeah! But I'll also be going and seeing my buddy Chris. And Chris kind of runs the sports, book over at Fitzgerald's. Let me tell you a little secret. There's some basketball games going on this weekend. And you're like, well, yeah, John, we got the Tigers and SMU on Saturday. No. Games to play to make some stuff called money. Money. Now, let me tell you a little secret. Butler. Do you know that they're a 7-point favorite right now over Marquette? Marcus Howard's like one of the best players in the country. And you're thinking to yourself, dude, I can get Marcus Howard in 7? Let me tell you a little secret. Do not touch that game. Under any circumstance, because I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know. I think actually Marquette gets their brains beat out, to be honest with you. Butler, for some reason, people don't realize they bad. Like, they really, really good. But there is a game tonight, and it's very, very simple. And you're going to say to yourself, there's no way I can take this. And I'm going to say, take it. Purdue is playing Wisconsin. There's a lid over both baskets. Go under 118 and just say, thank you, John. 118 looks so low, doesn't it? It is low. But you know what? Neither team can score a damn bucket. We're taking the under tonight. 6 o'clock. It's going down for real. Wisconsin, Purdue. Thank me in the morning. But whatever you do, just make sure you thank me. And remember this. The fights are tomorrow. And always remember this. I've always told you life is about ups and downs. It's how you deal with those valleys to get back on top of those peaks. 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. You call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, bang, boom. Sold the house. Here's the heart attack. It really is that simple. Now, Bill, he's probably an Eli fan. I don't know. I don't argue about stuff like that. But I will tell you this. I don't have to argue about anything with Bill, because if you call 901-406-1101, he shows up. 5 days later, you have your cash, and then you're strutting like Eli, because guess what? Eli got paid all the cash he could ever need and more. And if you want to be like Eli Manning and be a baller shot caller, give the man a call. Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Give him a call. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Now, everybody, get out there. Don't act like Antonio Brown. Make this world a better place. I'll see y'all on the flip side. And for Gabe, be good and don't beat me up. Peace.
Hey, everybody. What's the best new thing to kick off 2020? A new All-Star Chevrolet. You cannot believe all the zero finance deals and cash back on the new 2019s and new 2020s. 0 for 72 on most new All-Star Chevy Silverados. 2019